My name is Maren Brennan. I work in admissions, and I'm really excited to be joined by the director of the RISD Career Center, Kevin Jankowski. I'm going to hand it over to him in a moment, but I do first want to let you know that this hour will be include a very informative presentation. I'm going to be in the background managing the chat box. So if you have any questions along the way, definitely enter them in the Q&A chat box, a few icons to the right of the chat box where you're telling me where you're tuning in from. That way I don't lose track of those questions. But also, there's the presentation has so much great information. Maybe also hold your questions until
Mhm.
towards the end. All right, well, Kevin, take it away.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Jankowski. I'm the director of the RISD Career Center. And in this presentation, I want you to leave having a really great understanding of the programming, the resources we provide, the advising we provide you if you come here as a student, and that you have as an alum after you graduate from RISD. So I'm going to take you on quite a whirlwind tour of those resources. We're going to do a pretty deep dive, a lot of details, and again, post your questions as we go, and then at the end, we'll field any questions you have. Some of those questions might get answered along the way because we do cover a lot of information. So let me queue up my presentation right here, and we'll get going. Okay, and you should all be able to see the screen. And as I talk and click, if for whatever reason the slides aren't progressing, put a note in so that we can be sure there's no problems.
Yeah, looks great,
So
Kevin. Go ahead.
awesome. Thank you, Maren. So I'm actually beginning with one of our biggest events, and it's the Design Portfolio Review. And I do that because it is indeed one of the biggest of its kind among the art and design schools in the United States, probably even in the world. And this kind of event, let's see, was so big that when we did it on site, we actually did it at the Rhode Island Convention Center because we couldn't even fit it at RISD. And this event, though, got impacted by the pandemic, and then we had to go to remote. And then what happened is that companies and recruiters changed their way of working. They were doing more virtual, more remote. And so we are still in a remote format at this time because it's how we get the most companies, the most organizations to participate. Everything we do, we give you a lot of information. We even have a site built out specifically for the design portfolio review. You can check it out and see a lot of that great information already. We always give you kind of like, well, what should I do? What kind of questions do I have? How can I prepare? And then what's really great, very commonly we're asked, well, what kind of companies and arts organizations engage with RISD and hire RISD and seek RISD talent. So at the site, you can see that we go back just about 10 years, and you can click through each of those years and see all the different kind of companies that attend. And what's really great is you can literally click on the company and go right to the site if you're unfamiliar with them. So just to give you a sense of who attended in the past year, this is just a little slice because there's a lot of companies attending. In areas of architecture, interior architecture, and landscape, we had HOK, KPF, Perkins and Will, also landscape companies like Mahan Reichel. In areas of graphic design, we still get some publishers like Chronicle Books, but we also have all of the applications of graphic design. So in finance and healthcare, like IPG Health. And then one of the really wonderful things with our design portfolio review is we get a lot of alumni who come back. Either they're working at companies or they have formed their own companies. So this is a fabulous company in New York called Marcos Key and is formed by two of our alumni. And then, of course, we do get those big iconic companies, branding agencies like Wolf Olins. In areas of industrial design, we get consultancies, we get product companies. So here's Loft, which is right in our own backyard in Providence. And then we'll get, a really whimsical company like Kirkland. Their products you find in just about every museum, gift shop. And then we've always had a really great connection to the footwear industry, especially athletic wear. So Adidas, Reebok, Puma, Nike, and many others have all attended the review. And then we do get consultancies. So Deloitte has attended quite frequently. And in fact, Deloitte was just on campus last week recruiting and conducting interviews. In areas of apparel and textiles, we've had a long relationship with Ralph Lauren. We'll get companies like Guess, Revolve. And then we've had also a great long-term relationship with Urban Outfitters. And they've got many different sub-companies, which you probably know, Anthropologie, Free People, Urban itself. They're in all these other different markets. So when they do recruit, they're often seeking individuals from many different areas of RISD as well. In areas of illustration and film animation video, we'll get DreamWorks attending. We will get children's book publishers like Candlewick Press. The gaming industry, of course, attends as well. This is a company up in the Boston area called the Molasses Flood. And then graphic novels and comics are part of the mix as well. And here's Webtoon. Now, everything we do for the design side, we do for the fine arts side. So we conduct a fine arts portfolio review. There are even fewer art and design schools that conduct and have this kind of review. And so we're really proud of that. And in the review, what we really want to do is get you ready for the ecosystem, of the fine arts, galleries, curators, art consultants, residency programs, grant organizations. Once again, you can go to the site and see just about 10 years back, all of the different individuals that have come and organizations. And just to give you a sense again of some of them, this is Pioneer Works, based in Brooklyn, a really fabulous organization. Kunstrom Gallery has attended for many years. We'll get museums like the Queen's Museum attending, wonderful arts organizations like Colored Criticism. And then we do get art consultants and buyers. Fidelity in this area has an outstanding art collection, so we'll get one of their corporate buyers. And then we do get residency programs. Bemis is a terrific residency, and they are attending as well to take a look at your work. We do have many that are discipline specific, so the sculpture space has attended before. And then we do get some really big arts organizations like New York Foundation for the Arts has attended for many years. So because we do it virtual, it's hard to ever show the scope and magnitude of what happens virtually. But these are images from when we did it at the convention center. And these are just really big events. We are having hundreds of students, so many companies and arts organizations attending and making all of these wonderful connections to you and also giving you fabulous feedback on your work. Here are some stats. Between the two events, we usually have about 670 students attending. We often get about 160 plus companies and arts organizations, and we schedule 2,500 face-to-face reviews between just two events in this case, which is really impressive. In addition to the design review and the fine art review, we do Internship Connect. We do that every fall. So with Internship Connect, we are trying to get you in the mode, get you in the zone for pursuing an internship in the coming year. And the organizations that attend are those that often provide internships or have one ready, and you get to meet with them and learn about their internships, which is great. Once again, this event we did at the convention center. This is more of a traditional internship fair, but we are running this virtually as well now too. So this one usually pulls in about 400 students, and we usually have in the fall about 50 companies attending and arts organizations. So after you see all of this, where do you start? And I want to really encourage you, if you haven't taken a look at our career site, we have a really outstanding career site loaded with really good information. A lot of it is just available for you to check out. You don't have to input a password to see. And one of the really important things to start is just to meet with us. So this is my team. This is such an incredible group of people. We care so much. And I always show this image, which came after one of the reviews. We jump for joy. And this is really indicative of the energy in our office. But we're really busy. So in the spring, it gets really hectic, of course, and we schedule over 2,200 appointments a year. We do have student peer advisors. So if you're a graduate student, you could join our staff as a student peer advisor. And we also have drop-in appointments. So if things get really busy, you can just come by the office. in our drop-in hours. Just drop in. You don't have to schedule something and still get feedback that can help you out, which is great. Just to give you a sense of our facilities, we're in a really great place, 20 Washington Place. We have this lobby area where we often have companies and recruiters and our career programs happening. So here's Adidas. And then right next to me through the wall over here is an auditorium, and we get to do much bigger programs. Believe it or not, this is a resume workshop that we do every winter. We usually get 100 plus students attending, and we bring in companies to look at your resume and give you feedback. So you can really tell that we have a focus on being proactive and being prepared. And once again, at the career site, you can find great information on preparing, getting your resume together, cover letter. As a graduate student, you have a lot of this already, but what is going to happen in coming to RISD, you're going to make new work, you're going to pursue new things, and we're here to help you refine those materials, whether it be your website, whether it be your resume, or how you reach out to people. We have a great resume book that runs through a lot of different samples to help you do that. And then, of course, we all know that the resume helps you get the interview, but the interview often ultimately gets you the job. So we run an interview workshop every spring. We also do mock interviews in the office to help you out. Now, there's a lot of programming that takes place each semester during fall, winter session, and spring. So this gives you an array of our fall programs that we're actually having our last program tonight, which is really exciting. But we do programs including for international students and U.S. visa options, for artists and professionals. We get you ready for these big events like the Internship Connect event. We have the Internship Connect Fair that I mentioned. And then we even did an event this year about following up after the event. How do you reach out to companies? How do you network with them on LinkedIn? Lots of really great advice. We have a lot of recruiters that come in. So Skydance Animation was here just a couple of weeks ago. We did a program just about a week ago on museum careers, working with the RISD Museum and offering pathways and opportunities. We have a fabulous fellowship called the Maharam Fellowship, which you're going to learn more about in just a little bit, but we did an info session for that. And then yesterday, we just did our program on exploring artist residencies. So we had the Mass Mocha, we had the Carving Studio, we had the Steel Yard, talk about the residency opportunities and gave a great overview. And then we have our Art of Business program. So we always launch it with an alumni business. And this is Amanda Beard Garcia, who talked about forming a business after RISD. And then tonight, we have Jessica Masters, who's going to talk about the art of story, using it as a creative business tool, and how to pitch yourself, which will be really terrific. So in addition to all of those programs, we also have tutorials that are recorded. These tutorials, if you miss a program or you want to go back to a program because you forgot some things, you can see these for an entire year after we have the event, and they're posted at our career site. And we do about 30 career programs a year for open to all majors, undergrads and grads. And then we also get into 25 plus classrooms, directly into the classroom to do tailored programs as well. We're always getting you ready for the professional world. So we do professional headshots every year for our graduating students, undergrad and graduate students, and they come out amazing, and you get them free, which is terrific. Of course, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We always post great career advice. We also list internships and jobs, and we always update you on our career programs. If you want to also follow us, there's the account. And as you are probably seeing, networking is really critical to getting you ready for opportunities. Mentorship is really important in the process as well. We have a lot of great advice at the career site on networking. And believe it or not, RISD has over 40 LinkedIn groups covering many disciplines, specialty groups, but there's a really big one called the Rhode Island School of Design Alumni Group. That group is up to just about 11,000 members, which is amazing. So 11,008 when I grab this data. And there's only 32,000 alumni on the planet Earth. So a third of them are in this group, which is pretty incredible. So just to give you an example, if I'm a graphic designer and I want to go to New York City, I want to start to get a sense of where alumni are going and to network with them. When I did the search, it found 2,600 alumni had graphic design in their title or in their profile, and they worked at Google, 2x4, and Walsh. They worked at the New York Times, at Frog, the Museum of Modern Art. So here's Rafaela working at Google. This is Mehmet, a creative director at Frog. Jessica Walsh, a really famous alum from our graphic design department and her company and Walsh. This is one of the campaigns that she worked on. And then there's also another great directory that you can utilize, which is the alumni directory. And there it has almost all 32,000 alumni. Currently, it's at 31,646 alumni. You can search by major, location, and connect to these individuals. Internships and jobs are obviously really important, along with grants and residencies and other opportunities. We have a terrific source called Artworks. It's our job board, our opportunity board. And in Artworks, you can search for all different kinds of opportunities. So I want to give you a sense of some of the postings we've had in there in the past months. The Wasaic Project is an artist residency in upstate New York. It's a RISD founded residency and is really amazing. We'll have postings from Sasaki, which is an architecture, landscape architecture, interior, and environmental engineering firm. We'll get postings from Eric Foreman's studio, a kind of a mix of sculpture, fabrication, installation. We'll get publishers again, like Penguin Random House. We also have a lot of alumni posts. So this is Zoe Grinfield, who's a graduate of the apparel department and has a really great business. This was a recent posting from Massari, does really incredible light installations up in the Boston area. Architecture firms like Hutker are posting. Shark Ninja has posted. Mass Mocha postings. Entertainment companies like Radical Media have listings. Apparel and textile companies like Ralph Lauren. Toy manufacturers like Hasbro. Hasbro, in fact, is just about 20 minutes from the campus, and we've had a long standing relationship with Hasbro. And once again, we get many alumni who make postings. We get about 380 internships a year that you can check out in the database, and we usually post about 1,800 opportunities, full-time, part-time, freelance in our opportunity board. We also have a whole other area of job boards and directories that you can search by discipline. And again, you can look for your specific discipline and you'll find leads for boards like Archinect in the architecture field, Just ID Jobs, Animation World Network for animation, workbook.com to find illustrators, photographers, graphic designers. We also have all of the major organizations like the AIGA, IDSA, AIA, and of course the big arts organizations like NYFA, New York Foundation for the Arts. Many of you may go on to teach, so we have job boards specifically focused on teaching, like Higher Ed Jobs. And then, of course, there are those big, massive job boards like Indeed, and then also idealist.org, which is a great site to find work that impacts social justice, change, the environment across the world. We've carved out a whole section for artists in our artist resources. One of the things you're often going to have to do, and maybe some of you have done it, you got to find studio space. So you find great resources like the Listings Project. We have links to many different directories for art fairs, for galleries. There's lots of art organizations right in our backyard, like the Steel Yard. And then, of course, we work with a lot of New York organizations like the Elizabeth Foundation for the Arts. And there are great resources through Creative Capital and job boards like Higher Culture. Higher Culture is based out of Boston through the Massachusetts Cultural Council. And there are many blogs, but a blog that I imagine some of you follow, and it's great. It's called Hyperallergic. Highly recommended if you're a fine artist. And then there are still books. It's hard to believe. This book, Artwork, is probably the best book you can have as a fine artist to prepare professionally. Profitable Artist from NYFA is really great. And then the Graphic Artist Guild Handbook of pricing and ethical guidelines is a must-have, I think, if you're freelancing as a graphic designer, illustrator, photographer. We provide a lot of information on grants and residencies, once again, right through our career site. The Artists Communities Alliance is a great resource to find artist residencies throughout the United States and even the world. And we also have partnerships. So I have a partnership with Anderson Ranch, one of the top residencies. And if you get into Anderson Ranch for a residency, I cover half, they cover half, and you get to go free. So for spring of 2026 coming up, we have 4 RISD alumni who will all be going free to Anderson Ranch. We also have a newer partnership with the studios at Mass MoCA, another really great residency. They were just on our panel last night, and we have 2 positions that are fully covered, so you can go free to the Mass MoCA. And then we also work with Skowhegan with their matching funds program. So if you do get into Skowhegan, considered one of the top fine art residencies, I cover half, Skowhegan covers half. You can see we've covered over $160,000 since 2011, and we've had 28 graduates of the school go on to Skowhegan. And as you heard, we just had our Exploring Artist Residency program last night, and we have even more information on grant resources. We produce a grants and residency newsletter that goes out every other week, so you can learn about some of the ones that are on deadline and have just come through. And this is the Maharam Fellowship I was telling you about. We can fund 10 undergraduate or graduate students every year to take on a fellowship that impacts community, social justice, climate change, the environment, and sustainability. And you get $5,000. We've had opportunities in Ethiopia studying green architecture, in Ecuador working with bamboo for emergency shelters, and all across the world. In fact, we've been in 30 countries, 21 RISD majors have been represented, and we've had 120 awardees. My office also manages the Fulbright, and we've had great success with the Fulbright. This has been Alan, who had been a graduate student in 2022 and gained a Fulbright just in the past year, 2 years to the Philippines. We've had 114 Fulbright awardees since 1949, 46 countries, and we have been consistently one of the top producing Fulbright institutions among specialty schools in the country. In fact, this current cohort, we got 8 Fulbrights in one season, which is unheard of for a school our size. Really impressive. And then finally, I want to end on business and entrepreneurship. Like everything I've been showing you, we've got a lot of great information at the career site, and you can check it out. We've done programs like Mindshare to talk about how to form businesses. We also run the Art of Business program, and we have workshops on how to market yourself, promote yourself, taxes, which I know are always a bummer, but they're so important to attend to. And we've always do a workshop on freelancing and how to freelance because so many of our graduates do freelancing in one way or another. We also have a resource called Creative Study, and this gives you great tutorials on finance, legal issues, intellectual property, contracts, and that's available to you while you're a student. And then there's also a collaboration with the Harvard Business School Online. In this program, you will learn about business analytics, economics for managers, and financial accounting. And you can see here that there's about 22 programs that collaborate. We're the only art and design school in the mix. And over the years, we've had about 387 RISD students register for the program, and they've been awarded about $178,000 in scholarship to attend the program. And then finally, I want to end with Kickstarter. We have our own Kickstarter page. This was a really successful one that raised over $200,000. Here's 11,000 raised to go to New York Fashion Week. And then this was a really great project. It was a board game that Nashra created, raised over 20,000. Our Kickstarter page has raised $8,330,000 over the past 10 years to support RISD projects, which is incredible. And that was a lot of information. So I'm going to end on that note. And I'm going to stop sharing, and then we can answer your questions. So I hope that was quite a whirlwind and a lot to cover, but I hope it gave you a really good sense of all of the great resources we provide, the events we provide to really get you ready while you're a student at RISD, but also after you graduate. Our services are provided to you for uh, the rest of your life. And so if you're 5 years out and you need us, contact us. If you're 3 months out, if you're 10 years out, we work with all different ages and graduation years in the office. So
Wonderful. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Kevin.
thank you.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions? And again, like you said, a lot of great information, and I was pasting away helpful links that you're pointing out in your presentation. But any questions you have, please feel free to enter them in the Q&A chat box. I guess I would start with oh, well, some great presentation. I agree. I would start with, I have a question maybe to get us started. So as
Good.
you said, there's so many different, um, you know, once you start as a RISD student, they can make an appointment, they can meet with you. When do you recommend, or when maybe you typically find that students start their process in connecting with RISD careers to seek out those resources?
Yeah, my little career dream would be that all of you, if you come to RISD, set up a career advising appointment in the fall semester. And the reason for that, you don't have to have any agenda. It's just to kind of come in. And what's really great as a graduate student is just say, this is what I've been doing. Here's my professional life, my creative life. This is what I got out of my undergrad. Here's what I'm coming to RISD. And then let's just start already getting you acclimated to the resources, starting to brainstorm with you about, things you might be considering. And this in no way is to change your course of direction in your department or classes. It's just simply to broaden it even and give you a better sense of opportunities. You are allowed to do one 4 credit internship while you're at RISD, and obviously in a 2 year program or even a 3 year grad program, that's bam, just happens like that, right? So you enter, you start to find the internship, you do it the summer between your second year, and there's your internship, and then you graduate the year after. So that's why it is important to kind of come in early, get acclimated. And then the other thing I have to say, really do come to the programs, attend the programs. Sometimes I know with grad students, you do have a lot of experience under your belt. You've Many of you have worked professionally, but it's good to have both a refresh and then to learn new things. One of the hard things, you're really busy in art school. So for any of you who've gone to art and design school, it's very different than often in liberal arts where you're just in studio and you work and you love your work and you work longer hours. And it's hard sometimes to go, oh, I should go to this program. I know it's good for me, but I also have to finish this work. So there's sometimes a little tug of war there. That's why we record all the programs and also why you can meet with us after you graduate as well. And we do career advice all through the summer too. So if you have some more flexibility in the summer, that could be a good time to talk to us as well.
Excellent. We do have a question that came in. As a prospective graduate student who would be interested in starting my own studio or practice after graduation, are there opportunities to be connected with mentors who have built their own creative businesses?
Yeah, so RISD is launching, or kind of relaunching and reconfiguring a mentorship platform. They did a soft launch. They're scaling it up a little bit bigger now, and then they're going to scale it larger. And the goal there is to have students and recent alums connect to alums who fit what they're looking for, whether it is starting a business, freelancing, working in a specific discipline, working in a specific city. So that mentorship forum platform is growing and will continue to grow, and that would be very valuable. However, from our perspective, if you came for a career advising appointment here, one of the things we would do is work with you to find alumni, through LinkedIn and other sources and other networks, so that you can connect to them, talk to them, ask them, and hopefully gain mentorship from that. That is really an important thing to do. Not only does it expand your knowledge base, but it also expands your networks, which is really great. With the mentorship platform, people who come into that, the alumni there are coming in knowing that they're mentoring. So it's a little different than when you reach out to someone on LinkedIn and you say, I hope they get back to me, I hope we connect, and then I hope they can provide mentorship. With the mentorship platform, they go in knowing that they're mentoring. So that's one of the differences between the two.
That's excellent. That's really wonderful. I was recently talking to a RISD alum who was telling me about being in the mentor program, and she was
So
really loving it. So
there it
that's
is. Yep.
there we go. And yeah, anybody else have any questions? I know again, processing all that fantastic information. I know.
Yeah, and
Uh,
grab all those links that Maren
yeah,
so judiciously put in there because I really assure you, and I mean this in a very simple way, just check them out because there's so much good information that you can use already, which is great. And compare that to other schools you're looking at. What are they providing? What do you see? What did you get even from your past school? And just understand what resources are out there. So.
yeah. Excellent. I mean, really, really incredible resources. And I love what you were saying about, just getting started right away. And even if you don't go in there having a plan, sometimes, as we all know, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Where do I begin? So just having you
Right.
all there as to help along the way.
Yeah, and I have to really emphasize too, you saw the picture of all the staff. We
Yeah,
just are really committed to working with you as an individual, meaning, there's nothing cookie cutter about advising. Each of you come in with such unique backgrounds and experiences, and that's what's most important. So we're really working with kind of tailoring everything to what you are looking for and what you need. And that's really important. So just keep that in mind too. Yeah.
excellent. Oh, here we go. Do we have more info about, oh, for your jewelry student, could you share if RISD Career Centers offers resources or advice on turning this creative experience into professional opportunities, building a portfolio, or applying for art residencies?
Yep. Once again, through the career site, you can see a whole range of directories
Mhm.
under the discipline of jewelry. But we advise, I mean, our office is advising on all majors. So it doesn't matter how small a department is, how big a department is. You come in again with your needs and what you want to do. Now, the department is a smaller department. It has great industry connections as well. They've, in fact, have had a long-standing partnership with Tiffany's and connections to Tiffany. But at the same time, a lot of work that comes out, it can be studio jewelry focused. So it depends what path you want to go down. If you're a studio jeweler and you want to do the craft show kind of circuit, then the question is, what shows do you want to be in? What do you want to travel to? Or are you setting up an online marketplace and then using the Art of Business series to get yourself established? Figure out that business model that you want. How much work can you make? How much are you selling the work for? There's just so many factors in being a business. And then, of course, if you want to work for organizations and companies, that route as well, with jewelers. And we have jewelers who've worked for many major brands, and obviously Tiffany being one of the biggest. But that is something too, whether you're doing accessories, jewelry, or engaged in the apparel field, which sometimes overlaps, happens as well. So.
This question popped up about can you speak more on apparel design opportunities post-grad? There isn't, we don't have an MFA in apparel.
Right.
But just speaking a little bit of.
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of saw, we've worked with companies like Urban, Ralph Lauren,
Mhm.
Guess, and others, but there are so many busy people that want to start their own label, their own brand. There's a really powerful and important commitment to sustainability and in the apparel and textile fields. So we do have alumni and others forging kind of new territory into creating companies or working for others committed to that, which is really important. And then there's also, other areas that people go into apparel. Um, we have individuals who might get into the entertainment industry and even be involved in film. I know of an alum who specifically worked in costuming in major films from RISD, who graduated from RISD. And it really is, again, what part or what industry you wish to be in. There's no doubt. I mean, this is one of the things that the apparel industry is one of the most geographically specific industries. And you can be in different parts of the United States or even the world, of course, but in the United States, there's just such a concentration in New York City and in New York. So we do have many alumni that go to New York. So that's one thing you do need to know. There are many other disciplines where you could be all over the place, but apparel does have a very high concentration in New York. And often, if you're looking into apparel, sometimes you have to be like, okay, I'd be really open to going to New York and making it happen there. So,
Excellent. All right. I
mhm.
mean, well, no, there aren't any other questions. And again, we still have plenty of time, but we also
Yeah,
don't have to use up all the time. There's a lot of, again, resources and links to explore.
yeah.
So, so make sure that you click on them, make the tabs of your browser very small with all the wonderful resource links that I dropped, that Kevin shared. And if there's no other questions, and I'm saying that slowly just in case one
Yeah,
pops up,
yeah.
thank you all so much. Kevin, thank you so much. You're wonderful. Really
Yeah.
appreciate you.
No, well, thank you. And good luck to all of you. There's a lot to weigh when you make these decisions. But I'm so glad you attended to hear about our resources. And the admissions office provides so many of these webinars, so you get lots of little slices of RISD and kind of know what you're getting into. And that's really important as you move through this. We do hope you apply. We do hope you come, and I
Yeah.
hope it all works out for you. Okay.
Yes. And we've recorded this as well, so you're
Great.
welcome to revisit it too. So thank you all so much.
Okay.
Thank you again, Kevin. Everyone, have a great rest of your day.
Okay.
Happy holidays to you
Take
too.
care. Yeah, bye-bye.